Hi everyone, it's Kristi. Welcome to another What I Eat in a Day video. I'm following kind of a modified animal-based / whole foods diet, but I'm also trying to incorporate it to see if I can make it work with the Weight Watcher points. If you're new to my channel, please make sure to read the disclaimer down in the description box about What I Eat in a Day videos and how you shouldn't really copy what people eat and how we're all different. So one thing to keep in mind, I'm in my 50s. I am only 4'11 3/4, so my needs may be completely different than yours. So just make sure to read that disclaimer and work with your own doctor or your own dietitian to find what works for you. All right, I'm making brunch. Grandkids are here, so making up a big breakfast. I have some bacon here. I got this bacon. They sell this at Aldi now. It's uncured, no sugar bacon. For this kind on Weight Watchers, it's 3 points for 2 slices, and calories, 80 calories for 2 slices and 4 grams of protein. So I'm just going to put this in the oven. I do 400 degrees just until it gets the crispiness that I like. All right, so the bacon is done. I've got my husband's potatoes cooking up in a pan next to me. And that is perfection. That's how I love my bacon. Nice and crispy. So here's my husband's potatoes. He just wanted some canned potatoes, so I'm just frying those up in the pan and getting ready to make our eggs. So usually when I do my eggs, I do about 6 or 7 grams of ghee in there. I just went ahead and did a whole tablespoon. The amount of eggs I'm using is for 3 of us. It's for my granddaughter, my husband, and I. So I won't be using as much ghee in my individual serving as I usually do. Alright, I've got some Parmesan here I just shredded. I had an ounce that I weighed out, but I don't think I'm going to use that much. So I shredded a ½ ounce and I'll just put that over my eggs. Alright, so here's my breakfast. I'm also adding some Good Culture cottage cheese. And for Weight Watcher points, it's 9 points. It's 2 for the cottage cheese, 3 for the bacon, 2 for the ghee, 2 for the Parmesan, and 1 for the avocado. 525 calories and 46 grams of protein. All right, I'm stuffed. That's what I have left, so I'm just going to put that in a container and I'll have that a little later. But I'll go ahead and leave it tracked, and then that way I don't have to track it later. So it is 11:30 right now, and I just ate that huge meal, so that will hold me over. We'll probably eat dinner tonight, maybe around 6. So that is going to sustain me for all day. I won't eat again. So I love doing these brunches like this. And as far as coffee, I didn't have coffee this morning. I actually got up and did a good workout. The kids were playing this morning in their room, so I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and get a workout in. So I'm just having a little bit of black coffee right now, just to say that I have coffee. I've actually gotten really accustomed to black coffee, just kind of cutting down on what I've been putting in it. So today is just going to be black coffee. All right, for dinner tonight, I'm making a recipe that I found on the Modern Proper. This is sheet pan olive bar chicken, and I just thought that this looked really good. Let me show you the picture. So I'm gonna throw this together and see what it ends up being for points. It does look like it calls for quite a bit of olive oil, so this is probably going to be one of those ones that the points on Weight Watchers are higher because of that. But I'll see how much I end up doing and just kind of figure it. I'll do the best I can to try and figure the points. When I actually put this recipe into Weight Watchers, it said 17 points, which I thought was pretty high. So I'm just going to kind of do it myself and see what I come up with. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is make the marinade for the chicken. So we need ½ cup of olive oil, which this is where I feel like we're not going to end up using all the ½ cup. It's marinade, so usually you end up with extra, but we're going to do it exactly how the recipe calls for. And then we need the zest and juice of 1 lemon. Then we need about ½ teaspoon of kosher salt. I'm just going to put in some of this flaky salt that I have. And then it calls for a half a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. I'm just going to use a quarter of a teaspoon. I just don't think I want it to give it that much bite. And then some pepper. And some parsley flakes. And then it also calls for 3 cloves of garlic. I'm going to use 4 just because I love garlic. Alright, now I'm just going to give that a mix, and I'm going to add the chicken. I've got 6 boneless, skinless chicken breasts that I'm going to put in here. And then I'm going to cover it and put it in the fridge and just let it marinate. You can let it marinate up to 24 hours, but I'm just going to do like 30 minutes for today. Alright, so I have a 12-ounce potato here. It actually calls for 8 to 10 of the new potatoes, like the smaller ones, and to quarter those and then roast them for 10 minutes. So I'm just going to use 12 ounces of regular potato. Just try and get them all pretty even in size. I'm going to oil the potatoes, but I just want to kind of spray the bottom of it first. Just going to drizzle over about a tablespoon. Actually, I don't even think I'm going to use that much of olive oil, and then I'm going to add some flaky salt. It doesn't call for this, but I'm going to add a pinch of onion powder. And then I'm just going to take my hands, yes they're clean, and massage that oil in. And then these are going in a preheated 375-degree oven for about 10 minutes. Now I'm going to get an onion cut up. This is a pretty big onion, so I'm probably not going to use this whole thing. It calls for 1 small red onion. Here's another thing that the recipe doesn't call for, but I'm going to add it, is some roasted red peppers. Okay, and the next thing is it calls for 2 cups of olives. It actually has a note saying that when we say olive bar, we mean literally anything you want from the olive bar at your local grocery store, including peppers, olives, roasted garlic, and marinated artichoke hearts. So I'm just using olives. I'm going to use these Lindsay organic olives just because I absolutely love these. And I'm not sure if I'm going to use a whole 2 cups. Yeah, I guess I might. I was thinking 2 cups seemed like a lot. But this is going to make, well, it says it's supposed to make 6 servings, but I'm not going to get very much protein if I'm only having 1 chicken thigh. So I'm probably going to add more chicken. It's going to be really hard to figure the points because you have to go exactly based on the recipe. So I'm just going to give you what it is, kind of estimate mine, and then when you make it, you just kind of have to do your own. And this is going to pretty much do it for my olives. I'm going to have to buy some more. I get these olives from Publix. I don't know if Walmart sells them or not, but they've become a staple in my house. Okay, I guess I am going to use the 2 cups. And I wanted to mention on Weight Watchers, for points on these, you can have 5 of these ones for 0 points or 15 for 1 point. And then on the green olives, I forget how many you can have for 1. I know you can have 3 of them for 0 points. Just can't remember how many for 1. Alright, the potatoes have been cooking 10 minutes. I just kind of spread them out. I'm going to let these sit just for a few minutes while I wait on the chicken. Okay, I've taken the chicken out, so I think the next time I make this, I'll definitely let it sit and marinate longer. I think it's going to incorporate the flavor much better than it's going to today. So I would highly recommend, if you make this, just give some extra time so you can marinate it. And like I said, you can actually marinate it up to 24 hours in advance. So this would be great to do like a night before, and then you have it for dinner the next day. You don't really have much to do. So now I'm just going to put everything, the chicken, the onion, the peppers, and the olives all around this. And then remember when I said about the marinade that I probably wouldn't use it all? It does say to pour the rest of the marinade over the top of this, so I'll be doing that. I have a huge pan that I'm using. I guess I probably didn't need one this big. This would be a great pan to do this with a meal prep. Yeah, that seems like a lot of olives for this. So I feel like definitely 1 cup would probably work. So usually what I do when I see a recipe online, I always just make it exactly the way that it calls for first. And then the second time I'll just kind of tweak it and kind of make the changes based on my liking. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love olives. All right, then we're just gonna pour the rest of that marinade over the top. And I'm gonna season it with some pepper, some onion powder. This time it does call for the onion powder. I just added the onion powder to the potatoes, and a little bit of salt. I'm not gonna add too much salt because the olives and everything has salt in it, and I already salted it quite a bit. This is going back in the oven for about 35 minutes or until the chicken is cooked through. And then after the 35 minutes, I'm going to put it under the broiler for 3 to 5 minutes. It says just to kind of char the vegetables and chicken a little bit. All right, it is done. So there's actually a lot of oil all around the pan. So I know I'm not going to be eating as much oil as what's in the recipe. So I think I'm going to just kind of track everything individually, and then I'll let you know what I end up tracking. So it calls for 6 servings. We're probably going to make 4 servings out of this. Okay, I wanted to at least come back and show you. I could not eat it all. So definitely I would not say it's 6 servings. You're not going to get very much meat. So I actually took 3 chicken breasts, but as you can see, I only ended up eating 2. And then for the olives, so this had excellent flavor. I actually really loved it. I definitely would recommend marinating the chicken longer. But I absolutely love black olives. Like, I literally could eat them by the can. But I'm not a fan of cooked black olives unless it's on pizza. So I wasn't a fan of the black olives in there, so I didn't end up eating those. The green olives they're like a nice flavor with the chicken. I felt like the black olives, the flavor just didn't meld together. So I would definitely just probably use green olives next time, and I would definitely probably use half of the amount. So just kind of to throw a few on the pan, and then maybe I would just add a little bit more vegetables. I think I'd probably put like a zucchini in there, or even make up some of my favorite spiralized zucchini noodles, put that on the bottom and kind of make a bowl out of it. I think that would be really great. So I'm going to figure out all the points. Like I said, I'm going to figure it out individually rather than downloading the recipe. As you can see in the bottom, there's a lot of oil. So I would even probably back off on the amount of oil that I use in this next time. Probably what I would do is just not add the marinade, the oil that was left from the marinade. I probably wouldn't add that. So as much as olive oil I think is great for you, I just felt like this was kind of a lot that I used. So I'm going to add up the points. Like I said, I'm going to add up the points. It's going to be a complete estimate because I didn't weigh the chicken and all that. So just make sure if you make it, you do it how you would track it. I'm kind of at a point where I don't necessarily worry about it. I just kind of use estimates, especially since I'm not really eating ultra processed foods right now and eating more whole food type things. So I will either pop it up or do a voiceover to let you know what I came up with for points and calories. So after kind of doing my complete estimates, this is what I came up with. I ended up counting the dinner. On Weight Watcher points, I counted 8 points. The only thing I had to count was the extra virgin olive oil and the green olives. So I ended up having about 6 green olives and about 3 of the black ones. So I'm just going to count 1 point for the green olives. And then I counted 4 ounces of the potato, and for the chicken, I counted 5 ounces of cooked. I think that's probably about what I ate. Again, complete estimate. So what we ended up doing is that really kind of made 3 portions. I really ended up eating more of the chicken than anything. So I ended up using a total of 9 tablespoons of olive oil. Like I said, I think I would definitely back off next time. If you split that amongst the 3 servings, that's 3 tablespoons per serving. But there was quite a bit that I threw away off of the pan. So I'm really just figuring that I probably ate half of that. So 1.5 tablespoons is what I estimated for the olive oil. So again, recipes like this, you just kind of have to do your best, your best estimate. So 8 points on Weight Watchers. And then for calories, I figured it to be about 550 calories and 37 grams of protein. So I was sitting here eating my nighttime snack, dessert, whatever you want to call it, and realized, oh wait, I'm filming today. So I'm having some yogurt, basically just a yogurt, fruit, and honey bowl. So the yogurt that I'm having today is this Maple Hill 100% grass-fed organic Greek yogurt. It's plain unsweetened, has 15 grams of protein per serving. This is whole milk, so on Weight Watchers, for those who are not diabetic, you can have the fat-free yogurt for $0. I don't really care for the fat-free, so I'm trying kind of to get away from that. So I'm going to take the points for it. It's 6 points for the 2/3 of a cup, which is 170 grams and 160 calories. And then, like I said, 15 grams of protein. So I have that in there. And then I have some blackberries and some strawberries. And then I have a drizzle of this raw and unfiltered local honey. This I get from Aldi. And for this one, I just do 1/3 of a serving. So 1 tablespoon is 21 grams. So I just weigh out 7 grams and that's 1 point. So for my yogurt bowl, it's a total of 7 points, 223 calories and 16 grams of protein. So I'm going to have that. And then I also plan on having one of my dates tonight. I'm just going to go ahead and show it now. These are basically just dates that I cut them open, take the pit out, put some grass-fed butter that I get from Aldi in there. And then I melt in some of this Hue, I don't know how you pronounce that, Hue dark chocolate. This is really good melted and put over the top of it. I end up using like less than 4 grams. So I just count it for 1 point for the chocolate. It's 2 points for the date, 1 for the chocolate. And then I only have been using 1/4 of a tablespoon of butter. I used to use 1/2 tablespoon. So for the 1/4 tablespoon of butter on Weight Watchers is 1 point. So this ends up being a 4-point date and it is so worth it. It's just, I love it. To me, it just reminds me of eating a Snickers at night before I go to bed. And I know a couple of you have commented that you tried it and it absolutely kind of does the same thing. Really kind of satisfies that craving. So for this, 4 points on Weight Watchers, right about 100 calories, and of course no grams of protein in this. So I just make these ahead of time and I put them in my mason jar and then just toss them in the freezer when I want one. And that's what it looks like on the inside, nice coating of chocolate. And I also do some Malden's flaky salt, just kind of sprinkle that over the top before I put them in the freezer as well. So I'm gonna have this now and then I'll have that sometime before I go to bed, and that will do it for my day. So my totals for the day, for Weight Watcher points, I ended up using 29 out of my 23. So I did use 6 of my weeklies. Not too concerned about it because I know a lot of it is from my nighttime snacks. Those are really higher in points, but really not a lot of calories. And then for total calories, it was right about 1,400 calories. And then for protein, a little lower than I usually am. Today I ended up right about 100 grams of protein. It was like 99.6. So we just round it to 100. But my goal is to at least hit 100 grams of protein a day. And again, this is just a reminder, this is just one day for me, and my needs are completely different than yours. So just keep that in mind. And then one thing I don't show in my videos is my water. I typically drink water all day long, probably get between 8 and 10 glasses of water a day. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one.